and simple. To me, Abigail was a delicious poison. An intoxicating, overwhelming poison. Yowie wowie!
Just a quick PSA. Technology sucks sometimes. Welcome everyone. We are back with another episode of Abby's Window, and we got some stuff to talk about today. We've got a birthday shout out that we're going to give in a little while, but let me bring these folks on screen real quick so everyone can see who we've got. This week we've got Dom. Hello, Dom.
Yo.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. I'm okay. It's good to be back. I had a lovely time in Oslo, in Norway, and it's nice to be back right here on the Insiders.
There you go. Thank you. We've got Nicole. Nicole, how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you. Always love hanging out with you guys. Really looking forward to this episode too.
Yeah. Got a lot to chat about. And as always, when we have Abby's Window, you have to have Abby, right? So, Jodie, how are you today?
Good. It's weird being back in my normal spot. Away from it for a couple of weeks, so it's nice. It's nice to be back in my normal spot. Had a wonderful time on vacation. It was much needed. So, but I'm glad to be back and kind of back in my normal routine of things. Yes, I have a tan.
You got color, I see. Awesome.
I do have some color. That's it's the cruise.
That cruise must have been lovely.
It was. We went to Amsterdam and Bruges in Belgium, which was absolutely stunning. Amsterdam's, it's Amsterdam. I think once you've been once, you don't really need to go again.
Yeah, it's an interesting place for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen In Bruges, the film?
No, but now I want to watch it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's brilliant. It's
I loved it. I loved it. I would go back there 60 million more times because it was just absolutely stunningly beautiful.
Yeah, well, there is a film, and it's got numerous quotable bits in it. It's got Colin Farrell in it, Brendan Gleeson's in it, and it's Ralph Fiennes is in it from 2008. And I would highly recommend, even if you've never been to Bruges, or if you have been to Bruges, it's a black comedy drama. Go check it out. I'm glad you had a lovely time.
I did. I was about 8 inches away from a piece of a cloth that they used to clean Jesus after he was crucified. Wow. That was
That's insane.
Wow.
That was an experience. And in Amsterdam we went to the Anne Frank house, which was another emotional experience. But it was a much needed vacation. Got to spend some time with family, and the dog didn't know who I was when I got back.
Oh.
He kind of barked and growled at me until he kind of figured out, oh, it's mommy. I think he thought I was dead. I think he thought I wasn't coming back. So he pretty much hasn't left my side since. And Logan, ran clear across the food court in the airport to come hug me when I got back. So.
That was a beautiful moment. Well, obviously I wasn't there, but I felt it,
Yeah, he was definitely happy to have me back.
Awesome stuff. So we've had some good vacations, some good times, and we've got a little bit of news now that we're going to talk about. over the next hour or so, and also get to some art and some other things. So, Jodie, I am going to turn it over to you so we can start out with Caleb's Corner.
Yeah. Always love doing Caleb's Corner. Looks like he was getting some R&R at the beach. He posted that earlier today. Yesterday. Posted it yesterday. Said he's channeling his inner Rambo, which was quite funny. But yeah, obviously it was at Ocean Isle Beach, and hopefully he got, some time to rest and relax. They did 6 shows in like 7 days, I think. My friend Karen was at the very last show in London. She said they were definitely not struggle bussing through it, but you definitely tell that they were giving it everything they could. And she said right at the very end of the last song, Caleb's voice started to go out. So I'm sure it was an exhausting tour. And hopefully, like I said, he got some rest and enjoyed himself. And I have no idea what he's up to next. Hopefully we can nail down a date for him to come spend some time with us and talk about the new music that he's making and what he's up to next. I think the next show that he has scheduled, I love that picture. The next show he has scheduled is some in Dallas or somewhere in Texas. And I'm sure he already said he's going to be adding more dates kind of along the way. So looking forward to that. I will obviously try to get to some shows this summer, but really looking forward to having him on here and talking some horror movies. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a good time, and we'll have to have that'll be an extended episode, I believe.
As long as for as long as he has time.
If he has time, then
he may not be the Jed Shepherd type and sit here and talk to us for almost 2 hours.
That's true. He may have a different kind of schedule. So, but nonetheless, that's awesome. Glad he was able to get some rest after a big tour like that, because that is a lot. Touring in general, I'm sure it takes a lot out of you, but whenever you do so internationally, I'm sure that's a lot. So, awesome that you got to see him while you were on your vacation, and good stuff. So,
I tried to get Paul jealous of I gave him a Tom Savini book of all the makeup effects and stuff, and we tried to get Paul, the Meatloaf's guitarist, a little bit jealous, when I gave it to him, and he was like, "Is this for me?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's for you." And he kind of held it up, and he was like, "Hey, Paul, look what I got." Adorable.
That's pretty funny. Well, we have a little bit of news swirling around, so I guess we'll start there. Jodie, I'll let you take that away to discuss some of the news that we have, and then we'll, if you want to discuss some of the news, then we can get into that vignette that we got. We can kind of go there.
Oh my gosh, there's always news floating around about Bray. I've seen everything from he got released again to he's done wrestling to he's coming back soon, that they weren't happy with the creative direction, that they've come up with another creative thing or whatever. There's always news out there about Bray. I really wouldn't put a whole lot of stock into any of it. Somebody said today, and I had to laugh. It was not, I wasn't trying to be rude or hateful or anything, but somebody did post that he's that Bray Wyatt set to return soon. And I said, well, now that we've understood, we've gotten the obvious out of the way. Yeah, looking forward to having him back. That's the one rumor I would like to put stock into, that he's coming back soon, that they've come up with some. I don't know if the plan was to have him work with Alexa. Maybe, they've got to go in a little bit of a different direction now. So,
yep,
we'll see what happens. I'm just looking forward to him being back. I want him back. Everybody wants him back.
Me too. Yes.
Yeah, I think everyone obviously wants him back. The main thing that we keep saying here and that I see echoed on social media is just, it's all about his well-being at this point, making sure that he's okay. And if he's ready to come back, then great. But if he's not, then he deserves to be at a place where he feels comfortable and ready to come back. Because I don't think people understand the grind that is a WWE schedule.
Yeah.
They're on the road a lot and in different cities all the time. And that takes a toll on you. Not saying that I've ever done that schedule, because I haven't. I can only imagine. And I just think sometimes we have to be a little more understanding, and
especially
I know
families and
right.
That's
yeah.
tough.
You keep forgetting that all the wrestlers are human beings. They're not robots. I said this many times. They're not, that they can only do that. They're human beings at the end of the day.
Putting their body through hell every week.
They're putting, like exactly what Jodie said. They're putting their bodies on the line for like 15, almost a half hour in the ring.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine that. It's, they do enough as it is. I said this many times. They do enough as it is. They deserve a break. They're entitled to be away. They're entitled to have vacation. They're entitled to, if they're not feeling well, or if they're injured, they are entitled to take care of themselves.
Just like everybody else, they're an employee. I took 2.5 weeks off to go to England and Amsterdam and Belgium. So,
exactly.
Everybody's entitled. That's what you have paid time off for.
No, but you know what made me laugh, Jodie? This post that I saw, that what made me laugh was saying, I don't know who it was. They were saying that the Fiend didn't draw money.
Oh, Dutch Mantel said that. Yeah.
Meanwhile, he surpassed, even when he came back this year, he surpassed the Bloodline in selling merchandise.
He was the number one merch seller. The Fiend was the number one merch seller that year. So
like literally,
obviously that dude is smoking crack, and not the good kind.
I'm sure Bray was laughing at that when he probably saw it. These people don't understand. Oh my God, what are they doing? It's sad that these people make up stuff, or they just say things just for people to click on their page. It's like, come on,
clickbait. And there were, I hate to. I'm not gonna. This also is not meant to be in a mean way, but people putting a lot of stock into what Jason Baker said about the originals being destroyed. And Jason's a very good liar. That's all I'm gonna say. I said that last week. Jason is a very good liar. Not, like I said, not in a bad way. I just, he works with horror movies, like,
right.
He knows how to swerve, as does Mr. Kyle Scarborough.
And honestly, at this point, I mean, do you really? I know the answer to this for some people. And Hanzo, I'm going to get to your donation. Thank you for that. I know the answer to this for some people, but I'll just speak for me. I really don't want to know what's going to happen next. I want to be surprised. I want to go along for the ride and be surprised.
Everybody's got to stop posting stuff. Everybody's got to stop believing these rumors, just like Jeff and Joe says, and Jodie and everybody. Stop believing these rumors. They're saying, "Oh, he left. Oh, he's this.
He walked out."
That's who. Okay. I don't pay attention to that stuff. I wait and see what happens. I like being surprised because back in the day, that's how it was. You'd be surprised.
Well, Nicole can tell you too, like that's part of knowing him too. Like even knowing him, he doesn't tell you things.
No,
because he wants you to be surprised. Like, you know, even the people that may have known that he was coming back before he came back, they still didn't know when.
Right.
Because he wants you to be surprised. And that's why he, you know, even knowing him, he doesn't tell you things like that.
Because he doesn't want to ruin the moment. He does not want to ruin the moment. And I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Nobody should. I'd rather be surprised. Just like Jeff said.
Yeah. Hanzo, thank you for the donation saying there's, quote, fans. Oh, he's been returning every week now. I'm not a fan anymore. You stick with him throughout everything. Just because he's not back for you yet doesn't mean you quit him. Fake fans.
Thank you, Hanzo. Thank you.
Absolutely. I mean, we kept this going for 15 months while he was gone. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
No matter.
He was sick, and you know what? We're here to support him. Whenever he comes back, we know he'll be back. We know he'll be back. So I'm not worried. In my personal opinion, nobody else that is a Bray Wyatt fan should worry.
Nope.
In my opinion, because you know he's coming to come back. You know he's gonna Sister Abigail or give people mandible claws all over the place. He will.
Or the mandible choke slam or whatever that was.
Yeah.
on the table. On the table, because I actually
see that again.
I really hope he does more of that.
The mandible slam.
Yeah, mandible
slam that again for sure.
And I'm not going to wait to do this like I did on Wednesday of last week. So welcome everyone in the chat.
Oh yeah.
I waited until nearly the end of the episode last week, but welcome everyone in the chat. We really appreciate you being with us today and every week. You know, being here to give us your theories. Please know that they are appreciated and accepted here. This is a safe space to do so. So share away. C Wrestling says, I want to know how many Dutch Mantel shirts have been sold over the last 150 years.
4.
You're giving them more credit than I was going to.
Dutch Mantel bought all of them, and there were 4.
Yeah.
Dom, you're being very quiet over there.
I'm still here. I'm just listening to everybody and saying hi and nodding and agreeing. It is 11:20 p.m. here. As you know, it's a challenge being up at this time, but it's a pleasure to be here as always. And like I say, you know, going back to some of those. I don't really want to go into the fake fans thing. You know, people are gonna tweet, tweeters are gonna tweet, and people are gonna say whatever they want to say. But at the end of the day, you know, it's when stuff is toxic is when I have an issue with it. And some of the people that think they know about Bray or know what's going on, not necessarily people in this community, because you guys are all always pretty great, you know, but I think there's a lot of toxic fans out there. So I have an issue with that. But you know, and I've seen a lot of toxicity around Bray, and you know, things like, you know, commenting on you know, being out of shape, or commenting on WWE giving up on him, and you know, all this other stuff. Or was there a rumor today about them coming to a compromise with Bray that was debunked as a you know, that they were going to try and figure something out, and that Bray wasn't happy with it, and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. It seems a little bit far-fetched, doesn't it? But those are my thoughts on it. I've just been, again, I try not to get too involved in, you know, who knows what and all this other stuff, and what's actually going to happen, because none of us know, right? None of us know. But yeah, that's my stance on that. Is let people be people. Let people recover as long as they need to recover. And Bray will be back when he's back, and we'll all have plenty to talk about at that time, you know, instead of just the rumors. But, you know.
And we won't see it coming. He'll be back when we least expect it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I think, like I say, it's this community, and that sort of keeps that stuff going in a positive way. We're here to spread the positivity, right? So that's what we're gonna do. And I think if the more you talk about, Zeb Coulter, as he was known in WWE, or Dutch Mantel, he's got a podcast to run, he's got hits to get to keep sponsorship or whatever, and that's what he's doing. Whether you think that's right or wrong, I don't personally agree with it. I get WWE and whatever news every day, and I choose not to spread rumors and post dirt sheet stuff. It's just not my taste, but I understand why people do that. People need to get clicks so they can earn some money. I don't believe in it myself. I don't enjoy it. And podcasts are the same, not this one. You guys are great, but podcasts are the same. He's looking for hits, and he's trying to make some cash, and it's not great. Don't agree with it, but people are going to tune in. It's like Jim Cornette. I don't want to. Well, that's it. I'm blocked by Jim Cornette for defending Sonny Kiss and and a couple of other wrestlers a long time ago. So, but again, he's got to survive. He's got to make some money, and podcasting, as you guys know, is a great way to make a little bit of money. Get those super chats in, and also to stay relevant, I guess. And that comes up a lot in the chat. I guess it is about staying relevant for these people. What do they do? At this point in their lives,
they're clout chasing.
But that's it. And I think there's a lot of people. Again, the people in the comments comments are right. It's a clout chasing thing. So that's my stance on it. I like I say, I know I appreciate people being concerned for me being quiet, but I'm just listening in because I find the debates around, especially some of the toxicity and what he said, she said. BS, as the Mighty Limp Bizkit once said, is not really my vibe, So that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I love about this community too, and this, we all know, everybody on this screen knows things that they shouldn't. So, but we choose not to. We're not going to put it out there because it's not our info to tell. It's just, we want to come out there with that positive message that we're looking forward to Bray being back, and just can't wait for him to be back and see what he's got in store.
Right. And, again, to Dom's point, I think that when it comes to certain people in the podcasting space, especially, some of the older school wrestlers and personalities that are out there, they want to remain relevant. And I think there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. If you think that they're doing it the wrong way, then there's, just try to not consume that, because they want your reaction.
Right.
They want you to engage with their post, because that means that it's getting seen more by others. And I just feel like in certain cases we could do ourselves a good job of just kind of muting certain people. That's why the mute button is there. That's why the block button is there. I have so many words muted on Twitter that I'm surprised I still get things. I'm surprised I have anything on the timeline at this point, to be honest.
I have almost everything dealing with politics muted on my timeline.
Yeah. So I do want us to get to, I know that this has been a big topic of conversation, but we saw a vignette on SmackDown, and a lot of people have been, drawing parallels to some of the imagery that we saw in that. So, Jodie, I'll just kind of turn it over to you again, and we'll go through a few of these pictures.
Yeah, so there were a couple of things that were similarities between this. If you go back to that first picture, so that was in that promo with, and now I can't remember their names. I'm drawing a blank. Is it Eladon, and whatever.
Isla Dawn and gosh, I'm drawing a blank now. Alba Fire.
Yes. So this was in that promo, and the next picture is the same thing. That was in one of Bray's promos. Which, you know, when you have it happen once, it's it could be, you know, WWE does like to use stock footage. We know this. But you know, it happened more than once. You also have the footage of this one that was in the girls promo, and the next one we saw in Bray's promo.
Yep.
So that's twice now. You know, how much stock should we put into it? Is it WWE using stock footage and kind of shooting themselves in the foot? Like, oops, we probably shouldn't have, you know, because they know Bray fans are going to pick apart everything. So, you know, was that a potential error on their part that they're just using stock images because they like to do it? Is it connected to Bray because it happened twice? I think the only thing we can do is keep watching. If this continues to happen, then I think you can put some stock into it that they might be connected to each other. I wouldn't hate it. I think it would be interesting if, you know, those two girls were the ones that brought Bray back. Maybe, and Chris was talking about this last night, so props to my husband. You know, what if they find the Jack in the Box, the Fiend in the Box, and they play with it, and it ends up bringing him back? That was how
that would be cool.
Alexa brought him back. So it could be, you know, just WWE using stock images because that's what they do. They recycle those things. They could have done it on purpose to get people talking. Are they going to be connected with Bray? Are they not going to be connected with Bray? I don't know. I think
nobody knows.
I think we just have to keep watching and see if this continues to happen.
Nicole,
you
we'll
could
go to Nicole next after you, Jody.
You could liken it to the White Rabbit stuff. That stuff started real slow, and you know, if you weren't paying attention, you were going to miss it. Shoot, it started off camera with the song. So
White Rabbit song. Yep.
It's possible that we're just you know, if they are connected, that we're just starting to see the little things. But it could be nothing. It could be something. I think the only way time will tell.
It's true, because it is just a matter of time for Bray to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be it could be any time. So
it did feel very Bray-ish. Like at first, before I saw that it was them, I thought it was a Bray promo. I was like, "Oh my gosh, are we getting a Bray tease?" And then I saw them, and I was like, "Huh, that felt very Bray-ish."
It did. It kind of did. And maybe they are linked to him, or maybe they're not. Who knows? Then maybe, just like you said, it could be they could be using it they could be using those photos or those images just for them.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody knows. And you know what? Not knowing it is a good thing, because I don't like rumors. Like I said before, I don't like rumors. I don't like being spoiled. Rumors spoiled to me. I'd rather be surprised. And this to me was a big surprise. And I recognized a few of those clips of the vintage of the vignettes, and it actually made my heart jump.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh boy, is he coming back soon? Matter of time,
excited.
guys. Just a matter of time.
I'm so excited.
Dom, what is your thoughts on this vignette and some of the images that we caught a glimpse of here?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's stock footage, and I really want it to be Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. Actually, I have a real soft spot for Isla Dawn. Isla was the first person during the pandemic that WWE gave me to interview, and we talked about Kate Bush and all the wonderful music taste that Isla has. So I have a great soft spot for her work and what she does, and I think the gimmicks would mix very well. But I don't think that's what's happening here. I think it's a case of WWE making use of stock footage. However, wouldn't it be lovely? Wouldn't that be great? What a great platform for Isla Dawn and for Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, if that is the case.
Catapult them.
It would, and they're already doing such a great job, and it's great to see them doing so well. But yeah, I think we're maybe reaching a little bit, but I can't think of two better people on the roster to pair with Bray. The only other one, of course, would be the Dyad or the remaining members of that. If Liverpool's greatest is leaving, and Liverpool's number one, Zach Gibson, who is, I can't remember what his Rip Fowler is his dyad name in WWE, but one of the UK's greatest tag teams, leaving WWE and leaving that faction with on NXT. So I think if you were going to have that faction break up, you could have the Rock's daughter. Forgive me, it is late, so I'm forgetting the name. I do apologize, but you could have the Rock's daughter go off on her own. You could have Joe Gacy come into this faction with Alba Fire, with Isla Dawn and with Bray. I think that'd be fantastic. I mean, you couldn't really pick better people to go with Bray, but I don't think it's I don't think it's happening. But if I was going to fantasy book it, Gacy, Isla Dawn, and Alba Fire would be the perfect perfect sort of team, unless they were going to persuade GYV, the Grizzled Young Veterans. And thank you, James, for reminding me, Zach Gibson and James Drake, to stay, because they are fantastic. And even in their super goth dyad characters, if they want to join this faction too, and they manage to be persuaded to stay with WWE, then have them join this new faction. How many people is that? We've got way more than 6, right? Just
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. It would
The more the merrier.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something cool? In an ideal world, in a dream world, we would have, even Ava. But like I say, I think Ava's future is, of course, more or less guaranteed as a solo star. So, but certainly, just as if we were fantasy booking again, just as Isla and just as Isla Dawn, and that tag team as a whole, Alba Fire could use the rub of Bray Wyatt, or the support of Bray Wyatt. So wouldn't it be great to see the other members there in that faction? That'd be cool. But no, I don't think it's gonna happen unless it becomes the NWO, like James says, with 1 million members.
I will say, as someone who uses stock footage in my day-to-day job, I have used stock footage on the same stock footage on a couple of different things. One, because it's expensive, and you don't just buy it just to use it once. You use it for a couple things if you can, and oftentimes, and not saying that this is what happened, but just understanding from a video and marketing perspective, oftentimes you use the same stock footage when you have similar topics that you're using. So for my job, I'm in marketing and healthcare, so you buy a stock image or a stock video of a kid brushing their teeth, for instance. Anytime that I'm talking about dental, our dental services, I'm probably going to use that. If we have dental services where people come to our dental clinic, then that's one thing. And then if we offer a dental clinic outside of people coming to our actual building, I may use that same footage. They're linked together in that way. Because they're similar in nature, but not the same. Not saying that that's exactly what they're doing. WWE has a heck of a lot more money in terms of a budget to buy stock footage than my job does. But you know, when you're doing video production and putting things together, it does make it a little bit simpler to you to be able to call back to something that you've used before. However, what I will say is this: if their mission was to get people to talk and make those connections in their own minds without them explicitly saying so, you have to give them kudos, because that's exactly what they've done. They've gotten people talking about it. They have people theorizing about it, and I mean, we're talking here about it. And there have been several other videos made. I know C Wrestling made a video as well, and you know, he's got a large following and audience, so you know, it brings eyes to WWE ultimately. It also has us continuing to talk about Bray Wyatt. It has us now linking Bray with Isla Dawn and Alpha Fire and the possibilities that could be, which is only good for them as they come to the main roster and they're shown, and you know, you can have that buzz surrounding them and people will be excited. Now a lot more people, I'm assuming, if you haven't heard of them before, if you haven't heard of their team before, you might be interested in checking out some of their stuff and their matches, because what if, you know, what about the possibilities? And I think that's also a strong strategy as well. Why not link a group to one of your biggest names in the company, and one of your biggest merch sellers, and you know, one of the biggest draws in the company? Why not do that? So you know, it's a good strategy. But hopefully, I will say, hopefully this will keep the conversation going as it has. So I'm excited to see what they can do. I love the ideas, the fantasy booking ideas, Dom. I think there's a lot that you can do. I know C Wrestling made a comment up here, and there have been a lot of comments, so I apologize for not reading this one right out as it came through. He says, I don't know if they're linked, but I love the idea of Bray being the darkness. Therefore, you see connections with him in every dark persona. And I think that's to that point, and I want to kind of go around on this one too. It seems like every time we get something dark, people try to link it in some kind of way to Bray. I think that's a positive, given what he's done in the business and how great his character work has been, and some of the things that he's been able to do. Do you all feel that that's the same case? Do you think that that's a good thing that people try to link those dark personas, even if they have nothing to do with Bray's universe? Do you think that's a good thing? And I'll start with Dom, and then we'll go Nicole, and then to Jodie.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, man. I think it, you know, again, it keeps the conversation going like we're talking about, and also it gives. I mean, if we go back to when we were all hoping that Vincent and Dutch were gonna join, you know, NXT or join WWE because of that link, it brought tired. It brought eyes to a great and wonderful tag team in Vincent and Dutch, and now people are following their work in Ring of Honor, and perhaps maybe more than they were before. Like I said, you know, I have all the time in the world for Isla Dawn and for Alba Fire, and I hope, even if it's nothing to do with Bray, which I think it looks likely, you know, that it brings more eyes to those characters. You know, the Joe Gacy stuff. How many times has Joe Gacy been linked with Bray? You know, when we were fantasy booking that stuff a few months back. So again, if it brings more eyes to dark characters, and I think naturally, you know, we've talked on a much deeper level about the sort of the link that Bray has with alternative culture, the music, and all that other stuff. You know, if some of these other characters, you know, can be linked as well, then that can only be a good thing. You know, dark characters will always appeal to alternative kids. We're all, you know, when I say kids, I mean people of all ages, people going, you know, from 16, you know, and younger. all the way up to whatever age. We're always going to go for those dark characters. WWE will always have them. And maybe Bray doesn't have quite the legacy of the Undertaker yet, but he's certainly the biggest dark character that WWE has. So if other characters want to follow that and want to be linked with Bray, whether that's in reality or on a podcast like this or people talking on Twitter, it can only bring more attention to really diverse characters, like we said, like your Vincents, like your Dutch, like your Isla Dawn, Albert Fire, Joe Gacy. These are all characters that are worth your time. Mm-hmm. And if Bray's kind of aura can bring more attention to those people, then to me that's a great thing. So in answer to your great question, Jeff, I do think every dark character will be linked to Bray and will continue to be linked to Bray, but whether it comes to reality or not, in terms of WWE programming, I hope it brings more and more attention to those characters, because like we bring up quite a lot. Again, your Vincents, your Dutches, etc. They're great and they deserve more attention. So I think it can be a good thing if you take everything with a pinch of salt. If you look at this as like a way to, if Isla Dawn and Alba Fire now make you watch SmackDown or get you more interested in SmackDown, then that's great, because they're getting your attention. WWE, is getting your attention, so they'll be fine with that. And you have maybe potentially some new favorite wrestlers down the line. So I can't see a reason why, unless you're going to start getting all annoyed about, oh, well, they've been linked, so they should definitely work together. They're automatically going to work together. It's like this whole episode. We can't say Bray's going to be back next week with Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. But what we can do is we can enjoy Alba Fire and Isla Dawn's work in the meantime. We can enjoy Joe Gacy's work in the meantime. And maybe we can flick over and bring some eyes to Ring of Honor because of Vincent and Dutch, et cetera, So I think there's some real good positives to it.
Yeah.
I agree with everything Dom said. In between, while we would love for Bray to come back, whenever he's ready to return, we should enjoy the wrestlers that are in NXT that are also dark characters that are telling stories as well. And while we enjoy that, out of nowhere, he could appear with them, or he could appear doing his own thing, So, like he says, take it with a grain of salt, and just enjoy enjoy those kind of dark characters that are just like Bray. Maybe they may not be linked to him, but they're dark like him. Maybe not. Down the line, they might do a story together. If they are part of Bray's family, who knows?
Yeah, there's
forever. He does say family. The cult of Wyndham is coming. Who is part of this cult?
I think we all are.
Yeah, we're all drinking the Kool-Aid, man. I think it goes back to what we were saying before. Just briefly wanted to add, as long as there is alternative music, as long as there is alternative culture, and people on the fringes, like some of us in this chat and this community, there will always be a need for characters like Bray and for characters like Isla Dawn, Alba Fire, Joe Gacy, Vincent Dutch, etc. So as much as people can say, Bray isn't connecting or whatever they want to come up with, there will always be people that will connect with those characters. Same as the Undertaker, man. I mean, how long's Goff been around? It's been a culture for decades and decades, and Undertaker fans and Bray Wyatt fans are intrinsically linked, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, I'm sure will be a lot of alternative people's favorite superstars for various reasons. They've got great talents, and I think they've got a great look and stuff. And I think and the same with Bray. There will always be a need for those characters, because there will always be disenfranchised young people and miserable middle-aged people like me. There'll always be a need for those types of characters on TV. So let's the more the merrier. What's the line from The Craft? We are the weirdos, mister. You know, there's always a need for that, right? Or we are the freaks or whatever. You know, there'll always be a need for those characters. So celebrate your weirdness and celebrate their weirdness, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I would say, you know, kind of like what Dom said, don't take it with a grain of salt. As long as you don't take it super seriously, and just enjoy like that fantasy booking. Like, could they be connected? Yeah. Could they not be connected? Yeah. You know, and liken this to horror movies. You can't mention Jason Voorhees without talking about Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers and, you know, all of those iconic horror icons. They're always lumped together.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't work well, most of the time they don't appear together. They're just lumped into that category of these
part of that category.
You know, these iconic you know, slashers. And the same goes for other kinds of horror movies, like paranormal movies, and like they all get lumped together. It's a category.
Like Annabelle or Chucky.
Yeah.
They both possess dolls, meanwhile they're not even in the same movie.
Right. So I think Bray is just very similar to that. Anybody that is, you know, has a hint of that darkness, we're going to liken it to Bray because that's kind of what he's trained us to do. I mean, you know, that's being a Bray fan, you kind of get in that mindset to look at everything with that critical eye. And I still go back to, you know, what Kyle said to us once when we said we were zooming in on those pictures and trying to pick out every single little detail. And he said, good, that's the point. You know, to look
we're doing our homework right.
Yes. So, you know, that's why we're a family. That's why his fans are so great, because
we're all pretty much connected. We're all pretty much connected as one.
Most of us can take it with that grain of salt and be like, oh, that would be really cool.
That would be.
You know, if you have him in a feud with Karrion Kross, that'd be really cool. You know what I mean? Like just to enjoy fantasy booking that. I remember, you know, me and Jeff at one point were fantasy booking The Fiend in a horror movie against other slashers. Which one would win? You know, it's just have fun with it.
Yeah.
Right. Don't get too serious about it. Just enjoy it.
I think to add to the conversation, all of you make great points. I think to add to the conversation, a couple things. As fans, I think we have to be mindful and careful, and not just with Bray, but I just think overall, when it comes to fantasy booking, just because you fantasy book something doesn't mean it's going to go your way. Right. I say this quite often jokingly, but wrestling isn't Burger King. You can't have it your way all the time. Sometimes it just works out that way where you do get it exactly like you wanted it, and that's great. But there are a lot of times, more often than not, when you won't get it your way. And if you're the type of person that can't take that, then this is very tough for you. And I would encourage you to not be so tied to your own fantasy booking. The other thing that I would say to all of this is this, given, and I guess it's just because I've been working so much that I have work on my mind constantly, but from a business standpoint, it makes so much sense to plant seeds to get people to think that there's a connection, because why wouldn't I want to do that as a business person when one of my biggest stars out there has this type of gimmick? And when other people have a similar gimmick, why wouldn't I want to connect that? Because it gets everyone talking about the possibilities. Yeah. And when you're talking about the possibilities, now all of a sudden you're talking more about the people that are possibly linked to Bray than you have before. It's creating new fans. Yep. It's also great for, like, if I were in the WWE and I had a darker gimmick, I would tweet at Bray Wyatt weekly because honestly, if that means that I get more eyes on my Twitter as a product of me tweeting at Bray and people think that I'm connected to him somehow, you know what? I might pick up some more fans on that. I might get over with the crowd a little bit more because of that. And that's all good. Sometimes, yeah, it's good business. It's good marketing. And I think sometimes, and not everyone needs to understand the ins and outs of marketing and business. I'm just a nerd that happens to do it for a living. So I enjoy these kinds of things, seeing the parallels and seeing how different social media campaigns and different marketing campaigns work. I'll be honest, I've been trying to think of ways to incorporate the QR codes at my job, which I said I work in healthcare. So if I can find some kind of awesome way to do like a feed your head or a get your body checked kind of thing. If I find the song that ties up with that, I'm just going to start playing it on social media and then start putting up random QR codes all around our building and have people scan those, and maybe that works out for us too. I mean, it's stuff I like to study. So yeah, I love the conversation surrounding this. And would you guys believe it's already 6:53?
It's fun when you're having a blast.
I know.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But like I've been seeing a lot of comments in the chat too. Like it's like Vincent and Dutch. They're in Ring of Honor, but somehow they're kind of, in my opinion, I personally feel that they are connected with Bray.
Yeah, you know how that started?
It's like the Golf Bullet Club,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I'm saying it's like the Golf Bullet Club. It's like just goes over promotion.
Anytime, what drives me nuts is like anytime Bray would cut a promo or anything to do with Bray, you'd see them comment something either on Instagram or Twitter, and it's like, wow,
Smart.
It's like mind blowing.
Yeah. And that's how all that started. People started connecting Vincent and Dutch with Bray because of an interaction that they had on Twitter.
Right.
That was it. It's
those little details,
mm-hmm.
the small details.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Think about how many fans followed Vincent and Dutch. And now, as a result of everything that they did on social media, may now be watching Ring of Honor just to see them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's something that didn't even come to fruition, but it paid dividends for them to be able to do that.
It made me a Vincent and Dutch fan.
Right. Yep. So, I mean, so that's the point of it is being able to, to understand the trends and understand what's popular. And if you can attach yourself to it in a meaningful way and not a disrespectful or disingenuous way, it can pay dividends for you. So,
right.
So yeah. Marketing 101, folks.
Yep.
Probably not something that you thought you'd get on an episode of Abby's Window, but hey, I do what I can to help out to create conversations around marketing. So there you go. All right. So I guess since the time is absolutely flown, we can get into some art. But first, we have a birthday shout out to give. So let me pull this up.
Brittany!
Happy birthday, love.
So
happy birthday.
It is her birthday on Wednesday. My window.
I brought something special for you, Britt, if you're on here.
She should be, because I told her that we were going to do a little happy birthday shout out. But we have to play, and even though technology sucks, we still have to play a song. And I found a little one.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, that is awesome.
Happy early birthday to
early
Brittany.
Birthday, Brittany.
Yeah,
And
happy early birthday.
And 100 years, as my grandmother would say. And 100 more years.
She's here. There she is.
There she
Yeah,
is.
Hey, this is what's
Wednesday.
up.
Obviously, you can see that we have matching tattoos dedicated to Bray. We
Sisters.
got those together in Albany. And funny story that pretty much everybody knows now. We literally walked a mile in the snow to get those tattoos.
My
In
goodness.
a not so from what Jeff told me, a not so great neighborhood of Albany.
In a
Oh,
just
boy.
absolutely crappy, not crappy, but just a not so safe neighborhood at times. Luckily, this was done during the day and not at night.
It was dark outside.
Okay, well,
Was it daylight savings time? Probably.
I don't know. It was dark outside.
we'll just say that you had the Lord on your side that day. Before we keep going, I missed this super chat by Hanzo. Sorry about that. Hanzo saying, I think Bray is planning each point, every tiny breadcrumb. He's a fan like us. When he's ready, he'll let us know. Might happen at Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Thank you for the donation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is not a good that was not a good neighborhood for you guys to walk in. I'll just say that.
I'm glad you're still here, basically, is what we're trying to say. Glad you're still here.
Yeah.
You know?
Brittany said I had snow in places I shouldn't have. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That was quite a walk. I mean, it was literally a mile in the snow.
My goodness. How much snow did we get that? What was it? What year was this? Last year? Was it the year before?
I think it was the year before because we were all at that Bray event together.
Oh my goodness. We must have had a lot of snow that year in New York.
Yeah, it was.
We didn't get any this year. We only got
not much. Not
this
much. Yeah.
It was an interesting hike.
Yeah, something, that, but honestly, it makes for such a great story for you two.
Yeah.
And I mean, what a way to cap it off by getting matching tattoos and supporting Bray and all of that. I mean, it's really awesome.
Each other, being there for each other.
So that's awesome. So
that's what's also great about being a Bray Wyatt fan. It brought us together, not only as like a group of friends, but as one big, as I always say, one big crazy family. One big crazy family.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I'm lucky to have you all.
That's right. So let's get to some art, shall we?
Let's see some awesome fan art from everybody.
Yeah, let's see some art. Got a lot of art this week.
Yeah, I loaded you up a little
Hey,
bit.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
Very
that's
cool.
the one I just did. That's the one I just did, 3 hours ago.
And that's watercolor, right?
Yeah, it's watercolor, and if you look close, there's like a little bit of color pencil in there just to add more depth to his face.
That's so cool.
Thank you. This was fun to do.
Amazing.
That one photo when he was given that cameraman the mandible claw, I was like, wouldn't it be cool if it looked like half of his face was the Fiend? And that's what I did. So I wanted to morph his face but do it watercolor style.
I fully enjoy that picture.
Thank you.
Love it.
Yeah. And just to let everyone know, I just got a text message from Tazzy. He says that the Raw stream time has changed to 7:45. So if you're gonna hang out with Tazzy tonight and watch Raw along with him, 7:45. And and Jesse will be looking forward to that something new next week. So we'd love to highlight it. So we'll keep going. Here's the next one up.
That's a cool one.
That is cool. I found that one on Twitter, and I can't read the name at the bottom, so apologies. But I love the crown.
Yeah,
I love it.
That is I love the blue, the shade of blue.
Mm-hmm. And it's almost like and the lantern. The lantern in the background behind him. You don't notice that at first. Then you
That,
look
isn't
at
that Code Orange's album cover? I think
Yes, the single cover, yeah.
the single cover. I absolutely love that cover.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like that. Really good.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, I love this.
There's
one.
a Brittany one.
Birthday girl's
Awesome.
line.
It's the birthday girls art. You know, we see this parallel a lot. Obviously, it's on the back of that chalk line jacket. That tattoo, literally a tattoo just like that, is on my back.
Yeah.
Done by the wonderful Kyle Scarborough. I have a piece of art that Jesse did that's half Fiend, half Bray. We just see this comparison a lot with that side by side, and it's just great. I love it.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Beautiful.
I love that one.
That's a nice one.
Oh man, that's very cool.
Was it Gerber on Twitter? And I love that it just looks like dripping paint.
Yeah, it does.
And but you've got Bray kind of inside Howdy, which is
Yeah,
Like
really,
the silhouette inside the silhouette of Howdy.
yeah,
That's nice.
it's awesome.
I just love the simplicity with the white background and then that detail is really cool. Really
Yeah,
cool.
it's simple but detailed.
Sometimes
Yeah.
when you have a simple background like that and a beautiful detailed edit like that, the small details matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that one very much. So this is I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce that. Name is on the bottom. Revel in what you are. That's the tagline that we're going with. And again, I love that, the lantern, Bray holding the lantern and Howdy holding the lantern, or this other character holding the lantern in the background, and the fog. It's just that attention to detail is just really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. Yeah, I love it. The shadows and stuff. It looks like a classic old school like horror poster or something as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really well done.
Mm-hmm. Love it. This is the Fiend Legacy. Obviously, this is an edit on a picture with the Fiend heading to the ring there. Everybody misses the Fiend. I mean, we're all going to be honest about it. And I don't think they would have brought him back during the return if we weren't meant to see him again at some point.
I agree.
But I love that, they've edited this to kind of highlight the lighting, which is really, really cool.
Uh-huh. Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, that beard is amazing.
The dreads, even his eyes are piercing. It's really nice.
Well, he does have piercing eyes.
He does.
We know that. But she really captured them very well in this picture. So this is another Brittany piece. Yeah, I love the detail in the dreads and the beard. It's just fantastic.
Oh man, yeah.
Karrion Kross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Karrion Kross was another guy that comes into that conversation earlier about market characters. I do like. I saw that earlier on Twitter, maybe a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the reds on that, like the contrasts and the tattoos in the background, amazing.
Yep. So this is Hardy Sketch. I believe Karrion Kross actually liked this one on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken.
He loves fan art.
He does. And again, that attention to detail. I mean, those tattoos must have taken forever.
Oh yeah.
It's tremendous.
And even though, we want to incorporate fan art, obviously not just of Bray, but really amazing fan art from other people, I'm going to incorporate that too. This is Wrestling Edits on Twitter. Again, I love just the little details. With the ring ropes in the background and the let me in, and then you've got Alexa at the bottom, and it's one of those that you need to zoom in on to look at all the individual pieces because there's so many. And I love that. I love that we're seeing that It's that newer mask
Yeah.
we saw at WrestleMania.
Yeah, fantastically done. Fantastically done. Again, people use, as is probably expected, people use a lot of reds in these images, and
Yes.
Bray and reds and blacks, and because of the Fiend stuff, and yeah, the contrast there is amazing. Some of the details in the background, so cool.
His message has always been, "I'm the color red in the world of black and white."
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
I love that one.
So you know, Mr. Kyle Scarborough had to add to the social media frenzy during the middle of all of that. With what Jason Baker said and stuff, and Kyle just innocently posted this and said, "I forgot that I did this." Sure, you did.
I personally love that one.
I do too. It's amazing Kyle Scarborough piece. He's very, very talented.
Yes, I agree.
Why I have several pieces of him and that he's done, and 4 tattoos that he's done for me. So.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I like that too. So this is Blake. We've obviously seen his art before. I just love that belt. Everybody loves that belt. It's so, Tom Savini and Jason Baker did a bang up job of that belt. It was absolutely fantastic. And again, I love almost like the blood spots in the background. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, it's so cool. Again, those colors, and that belt was something else, man. I remember when it first came out, being a bit blown away, not necessarily for good reasons about how much it was going to cost, but it was an absolute work of art, that belt.
Still haven't figured out the secret message that he said is in that belt, but maybe he'll tell us someday.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yes, this is another Brittany one. That detail on Alexa's hair is just fantastic. And then you've got Lily in the background. Yeah, Lily. I love it. Lily.
That's a nice one.
Oh, fantastic. Obviously, another fantastic mask from Jason Baker, who is a grand master. Obviously, because he was trained by Tom Savini. So that level of detail on Bray's tattoos is just insane.
Yeah. I have one of those masks, the WWE shop ones.
Really?
The half masks, yeah.
That's
They're
really
so cool. Yeah, I have that in my car, to just freak people out. It's attached.
I was going to say, if I had one, I would probably wear it to work just to freak people out.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dutch,
Vincent and Dutch.
There you go. You see, this is what I'm talking about. We're on a Bray podcast, and we've got this art here, which is a testament to what we were saying. People are loving Vincent and Dutch, and rightly so, and that's great.
Yep. I love this one. Again, that level of detail, just fantastic.
This again.
Yeah, Little Miss Bliss. I'm just gonna say I'm so happy for her.
Yes,
with her
Mama Bear.
Happy accidents are the best ones. But again, that detail on her shirt is just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And again, since I had to remove someone from the chat a little bit earlier, if your immediate reaction is Alexa's pregnancy affects you, you're a part of the problem.
I'm having trouble hearing.
You're living an asshole's life.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that you're a part of the problem.
You should be happy for if when it comes to your favorite wrestler, whoever you support, if they're living their life and they're starting a family, you should be happy for them.
Mm-hmm.
You should be happy for them. Send them a congratulations and give them all the support and love.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, these guys are human beings.
Yep.
Yeah.
People need to understand that. They just got their heads up their asses. They don't understand. They don't see what they're doing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's sad.
And we'll end on this note.
Ugh.
That's beautiful.
I for real might need a print.
Yeah, that's great, man.
It's fantastic.
Yep.
Another Hurdy sketch, obviously. I just love it. Like you see it immediately, and you're like, "Is that a picture?" No, it's not a picture. Like he drew it, and oh my gosh, it's just I legit. I think I need a print of that.
That is incredible. Just the light on the hair.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
Mhm.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It honestly looks like he wants to jump out of
I
the
know.
screen,
Yeah,
which is awesome. I
You're
love
kind of
it.
creeped out a little bit.
I love it.
Richie, I got you. I always go through your Twitter when I'm going to getting art for Bray. I will always go through your Twitter and make sure that I've gotten everything that you've done.
Yeah.
As we always say, amazing artwork from all of you talented artists. We can't wait to see what you come up with next. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm just blown away by all of your talent. Just wow. Is all I can say. So all of you are so incredibly talented, and we're, I'm really honored to be able to we're honored to be able to share your talents with the group every week. So thank you all so much. So now we've come to the time in the show where we're going to go around for some final thoughts, and then we'll start with Dom, and then we'll go to Nicole, and then end with Jodie. So Dom, take it away.
My final thoughts is I'm ready for bed.
He's got jet lag.
Yeah. It's jet lag. It's nearly quarter past
midnight towards you, right?
past midnight. Yeah, that's right. So I'm feeling it. But I appreciate all of you guys once again. As always, my insane friend Dan Hargreaves is covering Monday Night Raw. He'll be awake from 1 till 4 a.m. doing this, and then he'll go to work at 9 a.m. So I don't know how
haven't been in for 2 weeks. I don't know how you guys do it every week.
It's a real challenge. So please, if you've got a second, if you want to open up another tab alongside supporting the wonderful Tazzy, then please do and go over to Gimme a Hull Yeah to support Dan on his Monday Night Raw streams. We've got some very exciting news coming up over the next few weeks. There's a certain pay-per-view or PLE heads to the UK, but more on that when I get it. So there's some exciting things happening over in this camp. So as always, keep your eyes on Give Me a Hug. Yeah, keep your eyes on Soundsphere, because we have some cool interviews coming up there. We obviously interviewed Jason Baker a few months ago now over there, and WrestleSphere, where we have new interviews with, this is me on my plug-in bit, new interviews with WWE superstars, AEW superstars, and Impact superstars. So yeah, go and check that out. And yeah, it's always a pleasure to spend my Tuesday early morning with you guys. And thank you all so much for your support and supporting this channel and these wonderful people. Thank you to Jeff for hosting, and always to Abby, to Jodie, and to everybody here, to Nicole as well. It's just so lovely to be a part of this community. I honestly, I know it sounds really weird, and maybe it's because I am overtired and jet lagged, but I don't want to get too emotional. I love you guys, man. I really love you guys.
We love you, man.
I'll try and be a little bit more awake next time to bring some over the top enthusiasm. But
you're only human, Dom. It's okay.
Yeah, it has been an absolute pleasure, and I do love you guys very much. So thank you all for your support.
No problem, man. Thank you for being a part of this conversation and being a great friend. And this is always a lot of fun, man. So Nicole, I've shared a couple links in the chat, but take it away.
Okay, so I shared, Jeff shared 2 links, one for Barnes & Noble, one for Amazon. The book that I illustrated called Whiskers the Mouse. If you have children and they love to read, or if you know any of your friends that have children and they love books, and you want to teach them about how to be kind and on those important moral values, please go pick up Whiskers the Mouse. It features an adorable mouse named Whiskers, and it teaches a great lesson. especially to the young generation. And when it comes to Bray Wyatt, like I said before, it is just a matter of time, because I have a feeling that he should be back very soon, possibly Money in the Bank. But like I said, I don't want to make any promises. Just like even what Dom said, we can't make any promises, but we don't know. And I think it's best that we don't know, because I'd rather be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, enjoy the rest of your day.
And you know what? Because of some of the behaviors around some of the fans, I feel like we need to start a GoFundMe or something to purchase some of those books for some of the fans who need to learn some manners and
Absolutely.
Bray even said that. Where are your manners?
Yeah,
you have to be kind. It costs you $0. It costs you nothing. Just spread a little kindness to people, because you don't know, you might make their day.
Mm-hmm.
That message has to be sent out every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Not only to the young generation, but also to grown adults. Because I feel
I'm gonna give you guys some homework. Okay.
Listen to her.
All right. Every day until our next show, I want you on social media to tweet at somebody once and say something nice about them.
Yeah.
Once a day for the next 7 days until we come back. Tweet at one person and say something. It can be a different person every day. It can be the same person every day. Just reach out to one person every day and say something nice about them. Say something kind about them.
Because you know what? Karma is real. I believe in karma. And if you do something good for somebody, something good's going to happen to you.
Yeah. And honestly, I want to add this too, not to bring a somber note or anything, but a lot of us assume we know what's going on in people's lives, and we assume that by how their social media looks, that everything is fine and they're doing okay. That random act of kindness and saying something nice and spreading that love, you never know how that's going to impact someone. You never know what they're dealing with, what they're going through.
Might save their life.
And you might save their life. So yeah, that's great. A great homework assignment there, Jodie. All right, Jodie. You got any final thoughts beside the kindness, which I love, by the way. I love that.
Yep, that's everybody's homework assignment. I'm going to participate too. Just one.
I'm doing it
every day.
Obviously, I'll do it.
That's kind towards somebody. And maybe next week we'll have a different homework assignment. We'll see. Obviously, I love you guys so much. My favorite day of the week is Monday. So that
I used to hate Mondays until I knew what Abby Window was about.
I never have the case of the Mondays anymore.
Never.
Case of the Mondays.
I love Mondays now.
Put it away.
I love Mondays. And Friday is just like the icing on the cake.
Yep. Love you guys. Enjoy Raw tonight. Yeah. Just trust that he'll be back. He's not going anywhere. Just be patient.
He always told you to be patient. He always said that to everyone, to have patience.
Be patient.
Exactly. That's another moral value you should learn.
Patience. Yeah.
Patience is a virtue.
Yeah.
Patience is a virtue. Yep.
Absolutely. So this was a lot of fun. As always, thank you all so much. Thank you to Dom, to Nicole, to Jodie. It's always a good time, discussing all things Bray Wyatt. Thank you to all the talented artists for your artwork and sharing your talents with all of us. We greatly appreciate that, and go support these talented folks. Please do. And in terms of our channel, we'll be back again on Thursday for Impact Wrestling for our watch along. And then Friday, Impact has a pay-per-view 2 weeks after they had Under Siege, but they're back for another pay-per-view. You can catch that one with us on their YouTube channel if you have their Ultimate Insiders membership. And if you're new to hearing about Impact Wrestling, yes, they call that level of membership the Ultimate Insiders. We won't get into all of that. We won't talk about. It's kind of like we don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about them their
Talk about
their
Bruno.
membership, the Ultimate Insiders. It's a little bit of an inside joke. We have fun with it though. Sometimes we think they're eavesdropping, but maybe not. Maybe it's just a.
I think they might be. With as many Impact people that we've had on this channel.
maybe a little bit. It would be if I found out that folks in their management were watching us. That'd be a huge honor, obviously. I have spoken to many of their wrestlers who are very well aware that we do watch-alongs and everything that we do on this channel to support Impact Wrestling. So that's an awesome honor as well. But we'll be back on Thursday and Friday for Impact Wrestling. So yeah, that's it. You have your homework assignments. We went through a little bit of marketing 101 today. So I feel like we've had a well-rounded episode of Abby's Window where we not only talked about theories and we've talked about manners and being a good person and being nice and showing love to others, but also you now have a good understanding of marketing 101 and understanding sometimes that hitching your wagon to certain things is not a bad thing. It just brings more eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That's not always bad. So thank all of you so very much. We greatly appreciate you supporting this channel, participating in the chat. And for those of you who had to time out some people, our mods, thank you for keeping a handle on the chat there. Y'all, there's always at least one, if not multiples. So hopefully they've learned a very valuable lesson. Probably not, but we'll just hope against hope that they have. Because sometimes people can be a little bit hard-headed. So it takes a couple times for things to stick. So, but yeah, I won't get into we've already talked about enough. I won't get into parenting because some of you that behave that way are grown behind people. So, yeah. Anyway, love you all. Thank you all for the support. We greatly appreciate it. And we will see you again next week for another episode of Abby's Window. Take care.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
So what do you say? You want to see